Savannah Guthrie, the poised co-anchor of the Today Show, is a figure millions trust to start their mornings with calm insight and charm. She has interviewed presidents, shared personal milestones, and navigated heartbreak with grace. Yet behind that polished exterior, a secret has quietly shaped her life for decades. Something she's never revealed to anyone, not even her closest family. Now, with her mother's mysterious disappearance stretching into its 10th day, that secret is emerging. What began as a routine phone call has triggered the unraveling of a hidden life Savannah thought was buried forever. The morning the call came. It was February 10th, 2026, a foggy morning in Tucson. Savannah and her siblings, Annie and Cameron, had been poring over tip reports with the Puma County Sheriff's Department and FBI agents. The yellow crime scene tape around their mother Nancy Guthrie's property flapped in the cold morning breeze. No new leads, no signs of Nancy. Then Savannah's phone rang at 8:45 a.m. Assuming it was another routine update, she answered. But the voice on the other end wasn't an agent. It was Elena, a woman from Savannah's past with knowledge of a life Savannah had carefully hidden for 30 years. Elena's revelation. Elena's tone was calm, urgent, and unmistakable. She referenced dates, places, and objects from Savannah's teenage years that no one else could know, including a locket Savannah had given her decades ago. "Your mother's disappearance isn't random," Elena warned. "It ties back to us. If you don't come clean, it could destroy everything." Savannah froze, shock and fear coursing through her. The truth she had kept locked away for so long, the double life she had meticulously hidden, was suddenly exposed. That phone call marked the beginning of confronting decades of secrets and fears. The hidden life of Clark Savannah Guthrie, born Savannah Clark Guthrie in 1971, had a seemingly ordinary Tucson childhood. Her father died when she was 16, and her mother, Nancy, became the bedrock of their lives. But for Savannah, the weight of expectations was heavy. Strength, independence, and emotional restraint were demanded at all times. Amidst this pressure, a spark of rebellion and yearning for freedom grew within her. In 1988, Savannah met Elena Ramirez, a 19-year-old artist and activist who introduced her to a world outside her mother's strict household, a secret life where Savannah could be herself, explore her identity, and escape the demands of perfection. The birth of an alter ego. Elena's influence allowed Savannah to create Clark, an alter ego embodying the freedom and expression she could not show at home. Clark wrote poetry, attended activist events, and immersed herself in Tucson's underground art scene. This shadow existence offered a sense of liberation, even as Savannah pursued her education and journalism career. Family trips home were not merely visits. They were opportunities to reconnect with Clark. Savannah maintained her dual identity carefully, never letting the polished, dutiful daughter persona overlap with the adventurous, rebellious life she shared with Elena until now. A secret romance. Their bond grew beyond friendship. Savannah and Elena shared confidences, fears, and the intensity of first love in secrecy. Elena became the one person who truly understood her, someone to whom Savannah could reveal doubts about meeting her mother's expectations. They navigated their world quietly, careful to conceal their closeness from Nancy and the rest of Savannah's family. While Savannah pursued law school and a rising journalism career, her connection with Elena remained, fueling her hidden identity and offering a private sanctuary from a life of public performance and expectation. The weight of 3 decades. As Savannah's professional life flourished, her secret life became a heavier burden. Her mother remained proud, oblivious to Clark, the rebellious persona. Savannah maintained a careful balance, public success by day, hidden adventures by night. Yet as Nancy aged and Savannah's career demanded visibility, the distance grew between her two worlds. It wasn't until the recent crisis, her mother's disappearance, that Savannah's hidden past threatened to surface. Elena's arrival in her life reopened wounds, memories, and a long-buried truth, demanding Savannah reconcile the identities she had kept apart for over 30 years. The family huddle. After the phone call, Savannah convened a private meeting with Annie and Cameron. For the first time, she revealed the existence of Clark, the alter ego that had shaped much of her life. She told them about Elena, the activist, and the secret teenage world that had allowed her to breathe, express herself, and explore a life outside the confines of expectation. Her siblings absorbed the revelation in stunned silence, understanding for the first time the dual existence their sister had managed for decades and the possible connection it might have to their mother's current predicament. Rediscovering the past. Later that evening, Savannah retreated to the patio alone. She scrolled through old photos, landing on a Polaroid from 1990. In it, two girls laughed in a Tucson park, Elena defiant and radiant, and Savannah soft and smiling, free as Clark. 30 years of secrecy, fear, and concealment converged in that single image. She realized that the identity she had suppressed wasn't gone. It had merely been hidden, preserved in memory and photographs. Savannah felt the weight of decades lift slightly as she acknowledged her truth, the part of herself she had never dared to show. Elena's arrival. The next morning, Elena arrived under FBI escort, older and changed, yet unmistakably the same. The reunion was quiet, emotional, and private, marked by a hug that spanned decades of love and separation. Elena handed Savannah a small envelope containing photographs, letters, and handwritten records from their activist days. One name, Ricky Torres, was circled in red. According to witnesses, this detail suggested a tangible link to Nancy's disappearance. For Savannah, it was the first glimpse of a thread that might unravel the mystery, a reminder that Clark's existence was not merely a secret, but a potential key to understanding the present. Reclaiming identity. Standing on the porch, Savannah allowed herself to feel Clark fully. She was no longer just the dutiful daughter, the polished anchor, or the unflappable journalist. She was messy, vulnerable, and real. Clark, alive and present. Elena's presence affirmed that love and trust could survive decades of secrecy. Savannah felt a quiet shift within herself, a recognition that acknowledging her hidden life didn't diminish her public accomplishments, but enriched her understanding of herself. For the first time in 30 years, she no longer had to apologize for existing, for being Clark alongside Savannah. A new beginning. Though Nancy remained missing, Savannah's revelation and reunion with Elena marked the beginning of something transformative. She had faced her hidden past, confronted its implications, and reclaimed her autonomy. The envelope of old records could hold answers to her mother's disappearance, but the emotional journey of acceptance and truth was equally profound. Standing with Elena in the cooling desert evening, Savannah realized that life is not defined solely by the identities we present to the world, but also by those we hide, cherish, and ultimately embrace. Facing the unknown. As the sun dipped behind the Catalina Mountains, Savannah and Elena stood side by side. The future was uncertain, Nancy's fate remained unknown, and the FBI was actively investigating leads. But Savannah was no longer trapped in silence. She had reclaimed Clark, reconciled her past, and allowed herself to love openly once more. Whatever lay ahead, she faced it with a completeness that had eluded her for decades. In the desert night, under sharp stars and rustling Palo Verde trees, Savannah finally felt the quiet liberation of being wholly herself. Conclusion: truth and hope. Savannah Guthrie's story reminds us that the lives people show the world are often only part of the truth. The daughter, the journalist, the anchor, all facets of her life were real, yet incomplete, without Clark and Elena. In confronting her past, Savannah not only uncovered potential leads in her mother's disappearance, but also embraced the freedom to exist authentically. As she steps forward into the unknown, the lessons of secrecy, love, and identity remain. And while the answers about Nancy are still unfolding, Savannah's journey offers hope. Sometimes facing the truth is the first step to finding what was lost.